I never thought dying would feel like waking up to someone else's hangover. But there I was, choking on the sour tang of cheap bourbon and regret, my vision blurry as I clawed at sheets that smelled like mothballs and faded lavender. The mirror across the room didn't lie. Margaret Hale was gone, replaced by this sagging, 60-something husk of a man named Victor Langford, wrinkled skin like crumpled paper, liver spots mapping out a lifetime of bad decisions. And the worst part? The bastard who'd orchestrated this soul-swap nightmare was the one person I'd bled for, lied for, loved like a brother, my fiancé, Ethan, the golden boy of Wall Street who I'd taken the fall for when his Ponzi scheme went south. It started 6 months ago in that godforsaken Manhattan penthouse, the kind of place where deals are sealed with handshakes and souls with something far darker. Ethan and I had been unbreakable since college, me, the scrappy journalism major from Queens with dreams of exposing the elite's underbelly, him the charming finance whiz who could talk his way out of hell. We were engaged, whispering about kids and a brownstone in Brooklyn, but beneath the fairy tale, Ethan was rotting from the inside. His hedge fund was a house of cards, built on lies to high-rolling clients who trusted him with their retirements. When the feds started sniffing around, he didn't come clean. No. He pinned it all on me, faked emails, forged signatures, even a planted ledger in my name. I went down for fraud. 5 years in federal lockup. While he skated free, crying crocodile tears on the courtroom steps about how poor Margaret had been manipulated by the system. Prison broke me in ways I can't sugarcoat. Rikers wasn't the glamorous lockup of TV dramas. It was roaches in your jello. Guards who looked the other way when the Aryan sisters decided you were fresh meat because you wouldn't rat on your cellmate's side hustle. I kept my mouth shut about Ethan, even when the shank came for my ribs one night in the showers. For love, I told myself, bleeding out on the tile, the fluorescent lights buzzing like angry hornets. That's when it happened, the swap. Not some sci-fi hocus-pocus, but a black market ritual cooked up by Ethan's shadowy network of one-percenters who dabbled in the occult to dodge karma. They called it essence transference, a whispered tech-occult hybrid using neural implants and ancient chants, funded by billionaires terrified of their own mortality. Ethan, ever the innovator, tested it on me as I flatlined, yanking my essence into Victor Langford's dying body, a washed-up fixer for the very elites who'd bailed Ethan out. Victor's heart gave out in a Jersey motel the same night. Mine kept beating, trapped in his. Waking up as Victor was like drowning in slow motion. His memories flooded me first, flashes of backroom deals in smoky Atlantic City casinos, bribing senators over steak at Peter Luger, burying bodies metaphorically and sometimes literally for men like Harlan Voss, the oil baron who pulled Ethan's strings. Voss was the real puppet master, silver-haired, Ivy League polish hiding a serpent's soul. The kind of guy who donated to orphanages while strip mining their hometowns. Ethan had sold me out to Voss years ago, back when we were just kids, hustling poker in dorms. Voss saw potential in Ethan's ruthlessness, groomed him like a prize bull. And me? I was the sacrificial lamb, the fall guy for Voss's offshore laundering scheme disguised as Ethan's fund. The secret Ethan buried deepest? It wasn't just fraud. Voss had me sign off on falsified docs that greenlit a pipeline exploding in Appalachia, killing 12 workers, miners whose families still sent me hate mail in prison, calling me the Queen's witch who cursed their kin. But here's the controversial bit that keeps me up at night. Staring at Victor's gnarled hands, in those first delirious hours post-swap. I didn't rage. I plotted. Victor's body came with perks, a Rolodex of corrupt contacts, a hidden safe in his Jersey bungalow stuffed with blackmail files, and a face that opened doors in places Margaret Hale's pretty mug never could. I was a ghost in a suit, invisible yet omnipotent. Ethan's wedding was in 3 weeks, to Lila, that vapid influencer from the Hamptons. All Pilates and sponsored posts about manifesting abundance. He'd moved on fast after my sentencing, posting beach selfies while I rotted. The irony? Lila was Voss's niece. The cherry on the power consolidation sundae. I decided then, in Victor's creaky bed, that I'd crash that party not as the vengeful ex, but as the uncle no one questioned. First, I had to blend. Victor Langford was a relic, a chain-smoking operative who'd retired after a liver scare, but his network buzzed like a hive. I hit the streets of Newark, Victor's turf, nursing black coffee in a Greek diner where the waitresses called him Vicky and slipped him free baklava. His memories guided me. The limp from a 90s hit gone wrong. The wheeze from 3 packs a day. I called Ethan's assistant, some kid named Tyler. Fresh out of Wharton, posing as Victor. The family friend Ethan had name-dropped once. Tell the boy Vic's in town for the nuptials. Got a gift that'll blow his mind. Tyler stammered. Bought it hook, line, and sinker. Ethan called back that night. His voice all polished charm. Uncle Vic, long time. What's this about a gift? I rasped into the phone, letting Victor's gravelly timbre do the work. Something to secure your future, son. But it comes with strings. Meet me at the old spot, McSorley's. Friday, 8 p.m. McSorley's was pure New York grit, sawdust floors, ale served in tiny mugs, walls plastered with faded photos of Tammany Hall crooks. Ethan showed up in a bespoke suit that screamed, "I own this city," flashing that boyish grin that used to make my knees weak. He didn't recognize the fire in Victor's eyes, my eyes now. We clinked mugs. Him droning about the wedding, Lila's insisting on drone footage over the vows. Can you believe it? While I sipped slow. Probing. Heard about your troubles last year. Kid. That Hale woman. Tough break. His smile faltered. Just a flicker. Yeah. Well. Water under the bridge. She was unstable. You know, deserved what she got. Lies. All of it. But I nodded like the wise old fixer, slipping him a dossier from Victor's safe, Voss's latest dirt. A Cayman account siphoning millions from the fund's philanthropy arm. Consider this my wedding present. But remember, favors ain't free. Ethan's eyes lit up like a kid at Christmas, greed. Pure and American. He pocketed it without a second thought, promising a callback. That's when I dropped the hook. One more thing. I need a favor in return. That essence gig you boys are playing with, heard it's gold for dodging the Reaper. Think I could sample it? He laughed, nervous, brushing it off as senile rambling. But I saw the crack, the secret he'd buried deeper than my conviction. The swap tech wasn't Voss's invention. It was Ethan's, prototyped in a black site lab upstate, using DARPA scraps and Haitian voodoo priests Voss imported like cheap labor. Ethan had tested it on junkies first, swapping souls to cure addictions, but really to harvest essences for the elite's immortality wet dream. Me? I was the breakthrough, the unwilling beta for his loyalty transfer module, designed to yank disloyal souls into disposable shells. As he left, I tailed him in Victor's beat-up Crown Vic, the kind of car that blends into traffic like a shadow. He met Voss at a private club in Midtown, the sort where membership costs more than a house in Ohio. Through the steamed windows, I watched them toast. Ethan handing over the dossier like a good lapdog. Voss, tall, hawk-nosed, with a voice like oiled leather, clapped him on the back, whispering promises of board seats and private jets. But I caught the undercurrent. Voss knew about the swap. Hell, he'd greenlit it, seeing me as the loose end Ethan couldn't afford. The girl's essence is stable, Ethan murmured. Low enough that only a lip reader like me, honed in prison, could catch it. Langford's body holds. No traces. Voss nodded, but his eyes were cold calculation. Betrayal layered on betrayal. Ethan hadn't just framed me, he'd commodified my soul, selling it to Voss as a proof of concept for their eternal alliance, a cabal of tycoons swapping into younger bodies, leaving the old husks for the poor to burn. That night, back in Victor's bungalow, a sagging Victorian with peeling wallpaper and ghosts in the floorboards, I pored over the files. Victor's life was a ledger of sins, hits for the mob in the 80s, rigging elections for Reagan cronies, even a whisper of involvement in that Epstein Island mess, shuttling girls for the network. But buried in a false bottom drawer was gold, Voss's medical records, detailing his own swap experiments. The old bastard was dying of pancreatic cancer, essence fraying, desperate for a vessel. And Ethan's notes, coded emails plotting to swap Voss into Lila's cousin, a healthy 20-something trust fund kid, once the wedding sealed the family ties. My blood boiled, but Victor's veins ran sluggish, forcing me to pace slow. The controversial decision hit me then. Mercy was for suckers. I'd accelerate their downfall, but not before making them taste the cage I'd known. Phase 1. Sow Discord. I leaked a sliver of Voss's accounts to a blogger pal from my journalism days, anonymous, through Victor's encrypted channels. By Monday, Twitter was ablaze. Voss leaks trending. Talking heads on CNN decrying corporate vampirism. Ethan called. Panicked. Vic, you see this shit? It's tanking the fund. I played dumb, rasping sympathy. Then dropped the bait. Heard Harlan spooked. Thinks it's an inside job. Maybe that new bride of yours has loose lips. Paranoia was Ethan's Achilles heel. He bit hard, confronting Lila at their rehearsal dinner. Voices echoing through the venue's French doors as I watched from the valet stand. She shrieked about toxic masculinity, stormed out, straight into a tabloid photographer I'd tipped off. Front page fodder. Wall Street Air's prenup meltdown. Is the fairy tale over? Voss moved fast, summoning Ethan to his Hamptons estate, a sprawling McMansion with helipad and infinity pool overlooking the Atlantic. I stowed away in the trunk of Victor's car, popping it during their cigar chat on the veranda. Hidden in the hydrangeas, I overheard the venom, Voss accusing Ethan of sloppiness, Ethan firing back about outdated methods. The twist? Voss revealed the deepest cut. He'd known about Ethan's affair with me all along. Used it to blackmail him into the frame job. You think I trusted you with my empire because of your pretty spreadsheets? No. Boy. It was her, your little secret firebrand. I made you choose, her freedom or yours. Ethan had chosen himself, signing my death warrant long before the pipeline or the swap. Rage surged, but I held, snapping photos with Victor's antique Nikon, blurry proof of their cabal, timestamps aligning with the leaks. Back in the city, I escalated. Victor's contacts included a rogue surgeon in Queens, a Korean war vet who'd patched up mobsters and now dabbled in off-books neural work. For a wad of Voss's dirty cash, he jury-rigged an Essence Echo, a device to broadcast fragmented memories, like psychic graffiti. I targeted Ethan's bachelor party at a speakeasy in the village, slipping in as Victor, the harmless uncle, amid the strippers and single malt haze. I palmed the device into his drink, non-lethal. Just a jolt to stir buried guilt. Come dawn. Ethan woke screaming my name, Margaret's, convulsing as flashes of our college nights. The engagement ring I'd pawned for his bail. The courtroom betrayal replayed in his skull. He checked into Bellevue by noon, babbling about stolen souls to shrinks who dosed him with Haldol. The wedding was off. Lila suing for breach. Voss disowning his ungrateful protege. But I wasn't done. The climax brewed in Voss's boardroom. A glass area atop his energy conglomerate's tower, overlooking the Hudson like a king surveying his fiefdom. Ethan, medicated but mobile, pitched a Hail Mary, full essence transfer for Voss. Using the stable Hail prototype, I infiltrated as Victor. Invited for consultation, my heart, Victor's faulty pump, pounding like a war drum. The room reeked of leather and entitlement, Voss at the head, flanked by lawyers in $1,000 ties. Ethan jittery, eyes darting like a cornered rat. It's ready, Ethan lied, sliding over schematics doctored with my leaks, codes that would reverse the swap mid-process. Yanking Voss's essence into a pauper's corpse while beaming mine back. As the machine hummed to life, a hulking contraption of electrodes and chanting aids in the corner, doubt nod. This was the controversial crux, revenge or redemption. Killing Voss would make me the monster. A soul thief in a killer's skin. But letting him live? He'd swap again. Devouring lives like oysters. Ethan's eyes met mine across the wires, recognition dawning. Horror blooming. Margaret, he whispered. The name a gut punch. Voss sneered. Delusional fool, strapping in. The reversal triggered. Lights flared. Essences clashed like thunderheads. Voss thrashed, his face contorting not pain, but revelation. As his soul fled, it dragged secrets free. The pipeline was an accident. Voss had ordered the explosion to spike oil futures, framing me to silence a whistleblower journalist, me, who'd uncovered the plot pre-Ethan. Twist hit like a freight train. I wasn't the innocent. In Victor's memories, unlocked by the surge, I saw it me, young Margaret, not just dating Ethan, but feeding him Voss's intel for a story that would catapult my career. I'd ignored the human cost, the minor's warnings, choosing ambition over lives. Ethan framed me to protect us both, but Voss twisted it, swapping me to bury the truth forever. The machine shorted, Voss's husk slumped, dead for real this time. Ethan's essence flickered, half in, half out, trapped in limbo, begging forgiveness through the speakers. We were both monsters. Mags. Come back. I could reverse fully, reclaim my body, expose it all. But as sirens wailed, feds closing in on the botched ritual, I chose the dark path. I let Ethan's plea echo unanswered, smashing the controls. His soul dissipated, a digital wisp into the ether. Mine stayed in Victor, the fixer who'd seen too much. Walking out into the dawn, badge in hand from a planted Fed contact, I whispered to the wind, "Justice ain't clean, America. It's just another swap." Epilogue? 6 months on. I'm Victor Hale now, blended names. New life in a Philly row house. Writing anonymous exposés that topple minor tyrants. Voss's empire crumbles under SEC probes. Lila's podcast on betrayal vibes ironically funds scholarships for minors' kids. Ethan's gone. A missing person case filed as suicide. Happy? Tragic? You tell me, did I avenge? Or just perpetuate the cycle? In this land of second chances and loaded guns, the line blurs. But one thing's sure. Next time someone offers you a soul-saving ride, check the mirror first.
Nah.
That epilogue's bullshit. Clean endings are for Hallmark cards, not the gritty underbelly where I crawl now. Truth is, after smashing that machine, I didn't walk into dawn like some redeemed anti-hero. I stumbled, Victor's bad knee buckling under the weight of what I'd unleashed. The boardroom was a slaughterhouse of sparks and screams, Voss's aides scattering like roaches, Ethan's voice glitching into static pleas that clawed at my skull.
Mags. Please.
We can fix this. Together. Fix it? Like the time he fixed our engagement by screwing his intern while I lawyered up in county jail?
No.
I yanked the main cable, plunging the room into black, and bolted for the service elevator, heart hammering a rhythm of pure, unadulterated hate. The streets of Manhattan that morning were a blur of yellow cabs and suited commuters, oblivious to the soul war brewing above their Starbucks lines. Victor's face was my camouflage, another grizzled vet hawking papers on the corner, not the architect of a billionaire's demise. But inside, Margaret screamed. The swap's aftershocks hit hard, phantom itches where my old tattoos should have been. Dreams of Ethan's cologne mixing with Victor's Benghazi. Worse were the memories bleeding over. Victor's. Not just sins but sorrows. A daughter lost to OD in the opioid wave. A wife who left for a plumber with steady hands. He'd fixed for Voss out of desperation. Not devilry. Taking falls so his girl could afford community college. Now she thought him dead, collecting a pittance from his estate. Irony? She was a social worker in Baltimore, helping frame jobs like me reintegrate. If only she knew the husk her pop's soul haunted was plotting fresh carnage. I holed up in a NoHo flophouse, the kind where hookers and hackers share vending machine coffee, paying cash from Victor's rainy day stash. First order, track the ripples. My leak had snowballed. Voss leaks morphed into full-blown riots outside his HQ. Blue-collar folks from the Rust Belt bussing in, waving signs like blood oil equals blood money. CNN looped footage of Voss's chopper lifting off the helipad moments before the feds raided. But I knew better. The old snake slithered south. To a compound in the Everglades, Voss family retreat, really a fortress with gators in the moat and private security thicker than DEA payroll. Ethan? His essence fragment clung to the ether. A digital ghost haunting servers I'd hacked via Victor's old modem tricks. Late nights, I'd boot up the laptop, and there he'd be, grainy avatar on a Blacknet forum, whispering trades for reintegration protocols. Pathetic. But useful. He fed me crumbs, Voss's escape route, a Gulf Stream to Curacao, fueled by laundered crypto. The controversial pivot came week 2, staring at a faded photo of Victor's girl, Samantha. Sam to her pop, smiling gap-toothed at her high school grad. Betrayals echo. I'd stolen her father's body, twisted it for my vendetta. Was I any better than Ethan? Calm modifying lives for a shot at justice? Hell yes. I told the mirror, but the lie tasted like ash. Sam deserved truth. Or, at least, closure. I drove Victor's Vic south on I-95, the Jersey Turnpike a ribbon of regret under thunderheads. Baltimore's row houses hit like a gut punch, echoes of my Queens childhood. Stoops where old Italian ladies gossiped over cannoli. Kids dodging hydrants in summer sprays. Sam's office was in Fells Point, a converted warehouse smelling of patchouli and possibility. I waited in the lot, chain-smoking camels till she emerged. Mid-30s firebrand in sensible flats. Hair in a no-nonsense bun. Mr. Langford. Her voice was steel wrapped in honey. Victor's memories confirmed it. She'd tracked his obit, come sniffing for heirlooms. I rasped a denial, but she saw through, grabbing my arm. Dad? What the hell? You're alive? Inside her cramped apartment, cluttered with case files and cat hair, we spilled. Not all, just enough. Medical trial gone wrong. I lied. Woke up. Delayed. Tears. Hugs that crushed Victor's brittle ribs. Then the ask, Sam, I need your help. One job. For a friend who got railroaded bad. She balked. Ethics? Oaths. But blood's thicker than bindweed. By dawn, she was in. Forging psych evals to get me close to Voss's inner circle remnant, a Miami lawyer named Ruiz. Voss's wetwork guy. Now scrambling to salvage the empire. Ruiz was the key, slimy, gold-chained Cuban exile who'd laundered for Noriega back in the day. Now Voss's bagmen in South Beach clubs where bottle service cost a kidney. I met him at Mango's Tropical Cafe. Salsa beats thumping like accusations. Victor's face blending with the expat crowd. Langford. You old prick, thought you croaked. We bullshitted over mojitos. Me dropping Ethan's ghost tips. Voss's Curacao hideout.
A Villa Calle la Sombra.
Guarded by XSALS and drone surveillance. Ruiz bit. Seeing profit in a rescue op. The deal? I'd fly in as Victor the Fixer. Extract Voss for a neural reset. Code for another swap attempt. This time with a Venezuelan refugee's body Ruiz had prepped. My angle, sabotage from within, but with a twist. Sam had looped in a DOJ contact. A prosecutor burned by Voss years back. Leak the op. Watch the feds pounce mid-ritual. The flight to Curacao was a red-eye purgatory. Rum punches dulling the jet-lag ache. La Sombra loomed on a cliffside, all white stucco and infinity edges bleeding into turquoise sea, paradise for pirates. Voss greeted me on the terrace. Gaunt in a linen suit, eyes like chipped obsidian. Victor. You look preserved. No time for banter. The ritual chamber was below. A converted wine cellar humming with banks of servers and incense-heavy air. Haitian priests, same ones who'd botched my swap, chanted in Creole. Their faces scarred from botched essences. The vessel, a comatose kid, maybe 22, tubes snaking into his arms. Donated unwillingly via Ruiz's trafficking ring. Voss stripped to a robe, electrodes blooming on his chest like metallic tumors. This ends my frailty, he murmured, and begins the new order. Ethan's avatar flickered on a monitor, backup consciousness. Voss's failsafe. Mags, it mouthed. Silent now. But I felt the pull. A spectral hand on my shoulder. As the machine whirred, I palmed the disruptor. EMP pulse from Sam's contact, disguised as a ritual amulet. Controversial? Hell. Yes, arming traffickers' victims against the elite. But at what cost? The kid's family would never know their boy's shell saved a soul. Pulse hit at peak chant. Screens fried. Priests wailed. Voss arched like a bowstring. His essence tore free, not to the kid, but rebounding wild, slamming into Ethan's digital ghost. Feedback loop, tycoon and traitor fused. A howling amalgam screaming obscenities in two voices, Voss's baritone cursing the chattel, Ethan's tenor begging, forgive me. Mags. Feds breached at 0400. Choppers thumping like Judgment Day. Ruiz cuffed in his silk boxers. Voss's hybrid form collapsed into code. Archived on a seized drive, evidence for trials that would drag for years. I slipped out a side trail. Victor's lungs burning on the hike to a smuggler's skiff. Back stateside, Sam waited with coffee and questions. You okay?
Dad.
The word stung, mine or his. I nodded. But inside, the swap frayed. Flashes of my old body, Ethan's apartment, my byline in the Times, the ring he'd flushed. Revenge tasted bittersweet, like chicory in New Orleans dirt. But the tension coiled tighter. Voss's fusion with Ethan birthed something worse, a viral meme in dark web circles. The eternal echo, Essence's hacking systems, whispering corruption into boardrooms. My next target? The cabal's remnants. Tycoons scrambling to contain it. Sam's in deep now. Her caseload Voss whistleblowers.
Me?
I'm the shadow. Plotting the next swap not of bodies, but empires. Dark? Damn right. Tense? Every breath. And controversial? In America, where the powerful preach equality while hoarding souls. It's just Tuesday.
Tuesday my ass.
By fall, it was apocalypse light, Voss Ethan's echo virus worming through Wall Street's veins, crashing trades and outing peccadillos like confetti at a funeral. I watched from Victor's Philly perch, a third-floor walk-up with radiators that clanged like guilty consciences, nursing black market painkillers for the swap's creeping decay. Sam's visits were lifelines. Pot roast from her crock pot. Stories of clients clawing back from the abyss. You're a hero.
Dad, she'd say.
Oblivious to the lie. Hero?
Nah.
I was the virus's patient zero. My essence a Trojan horse destabilizing the 1%'s immortality scam. And the debatable gut punch? It felt good, raw, righteous. The kind of schadenfreude that powers dive bar jukeboxes from sea to shining sea. The climax I'd engineered in Curacao? It backfired spectacularly. Feds seized the drive. But Voss's lawyers, shark tanks from Skadden, spun it as experimental AI, burying the occult under NDAs thicker than Bibles. Ruiz flipped, testifying to ritual delusions, painting Voss as a mad visionary, not a soul-sucker. Ethan's fragment, erased officially, but echoes lingered, spam emails to his contacts, taunting with wedding photos doctored, his face on my prison mugshot. Caption, till death do us swap. Lila cashed in. Her insta-pivoting to surviving the occult elite, raking sponsorships from crystal healers. She even DM'd me, thinking Victor a fan, gushing about betrayals gifts. I replied once. Anonymous. Ask your uncle about the miners. Crickets. Deeper betrayal surfaced in Victor's attic trunk, unearthed during a storm that flooded the basement like Noah's regret. Yellowed letters from the 70s. Victor to his handler, detailing Voss's first transference, not tech, but a ritual on a Dakota reservation, swapping a medicine man's essence into a rival oil baron's body to steal sacred lands. The crime I'd borne? Amplified. Those pipeline dead weren't collateral. Voss, in his stolen youth, had ignited the blast personally. Essence-fueled rage at a tribal blockade. Ethan knew. Fed me the docs to expose, but I buried them for bylines that bought our Tribeca loft. We were complicit. A power couple chasing the American dream on corpses' backs. The twist reversed hard. I wasn't the victim. I was the architect. My ambition the spark Ethan fanned into inferno. Tension peaked at the Cabal's emergency summit, neutral ground, a Rust Belt casino in Pittsburgh, where steel ghosts wandered slots like lost souls. Invite came via dead drop, a burner phone in Victor's mailbox. Voss's voice synthesized. Langford. We know. Midnight. High Rollers Lounge. Trap? Bait? My controversial call. Go loaded. Sam's DOJ pal slipped me a vest, Kevlar. Not explosive, but I packed Victor's .38, the one from his mob days. Oiled and whispering. Drive up 76 was meditative hell. Billboards for fracking firms. Truck stops slinging freedom fries to drivers hauling Voss's tainted crude. Casino glowed like Vegas's poor cousin. Neon bleeding into Monongahela fog. The lounge was velvet ropes and cigar haze. Tycoons in Stetsons nursing whiskeys. Faces I'd inked in exposés, tech bros. Senators. A televangelist with a private jet fleet. Voss presided. Not husk but hologram, echo projection. Ethan's sly grin warping his features. Victor, or should I say, Margaret? Welcome to the endgame. Gasps rippled. They knew the swap. Had funded it as contingency. Ethan's voice layered in. We built this together.
Mags.
Don't throw it away. Built? Like the gallows we shared? I rasped back. Victor's timbre steady. You stole my life. Harlan. Now I'll dismantle yours, piece by soul. Chaos erupted, decisions fracturing like fault lines. One mogul lunged. Brass-knuckled. I fired wild. Grazing his Rolex. The .38 spark scattering chips like confetti. Voss's hollow flickered. Broadcasting the melee to live feeds, Cabal collapse trended instant. Feds en route via Sam's tip. But the real high-tension wire? Voss offered the reversal, full essence restore. My body preserved in cryo at La Sombra. Lila's dowry. Join us properly.
Rule.
Not ruin. Ethan's echo pleaded. I love you still. We can swap back. Forget the falls. Love? The word curdled after the frame. The shank. The commodified soul? Controversial as admitting it tempted me. Normalcy. Bylines. Sam's sister-in-law brunches. But the miners' ghosts crowded the lounge. Spectral in my periphery. Demanding blood balance. I chose the abyss. Smashed the projector with the .38's but Voss's form dissolving into pixels, his essence scattering. Infecting the Cabal's devices with self-destruct code. Phones buzzed Armageddon. Accounts frozen. Mistresses calling with paternity suits. Mistresses calling with paternity suits. Empires evaporating in SEC dawn raids. Tycoons bolted. One exec slitting wrists in the John Dark. Debatable catharsis. Ethan's last whisper. Monster. Mirror. Mirror. Outside. Sirens wailed triumphant. Sam scooped me. Dad. Jesus. Whisking to a safe house in D.C. Her contacts burying Victor's prints. The ending? No tidy bow. I fade daily. Essence unraveling. But leaks flow endless. Podcasts on soul trade. Congressional probes. Even a Netflix doc greenlit. Happy? For the dead miner's kin.
Cashing settlements, yes.
Tragic? For me? Coughing blood in a VA hospital bed. Sam's hand in mine. Whispering fight. Dad. Debatable justice. Did I avenge betrayal? Or birth a new one? Dooming Sam to my shadows? In America's funhouse mirror, land of reinvention and ruin, the question lingers. Swap your soul if you dare, just don't say I didn't warn you. The ride's one way. And the grandpa at the wheel? Might be you.